This is a story about unlocking the mind and what happens when it refuses to be controlled. Hypnosis, they say, is a doorway to the subconscious, but some doors are better left closed. Dr. Evelyn Hart was celebrated as a pioneer in hypnotherapy, her soft-spoken voice coaxing secrets from the deepest corners of the mind. Trauma, addiction, even phobias. Her patients claimed she could fix it all. But Evelyn had grown restless. Healing wasn't enough anymore. She wanted to push boundaries, to see if hypnosis could go further than anyone imagined. Her new subject was Michael, a quiet man with no family, desperate to quit smoking. But Evelyn saw potential in him for something bigger. She decided to use an experimental method, a deeper trance, one that bypassed the conscious mind entirely and tapped into the raw, primal subconscious. At first, the sessions were routine. Evelyn's voice guided Michael through relaxation, her words pulling him into a dreamlike state. But then, during their third session, something strange happened. Michael's breathing slowed unnaturally, his body stiffened, and his voice, low, guttural, spoke a single phrase. "Leave me alone." Evelyn froze. "Michael, is that you?" "No," the voice replied. Fascinated, she pressed on. She asked questions, but the entity, or whatever was speaking through Michael, refused to answer. It only repeated warnings. "Stop this, you'll regret it." Evelyn ignored it. Each session she dug deeper, pulling Michael further into his own mind. She wanted to know what lay beneath, convinced she was on the verge of a breakthrough. But then Michael began to change. He grew erratic outside their sessions, experiencing blackouts and vivid nightmares. He'd wake up in strange places with no memory of how he got there. Once he found scratches down his arms, as though he'd been clawing at something. Or someone. "I don't feel like myself," he told her one day, his voice trembling. "I see things, hear things. It's like someone else is living inside me." Evelyn dismissed his concerns, masking her growing unease. But during their final session, the truth revealed itself. As she guided him into the deepest trance yet, Michael's body convulsed violently. His eyes shot open, but they were different, cold, unrecognizable. "Evelyn," the voice said, mocking, "do you understand now? The subconscious isn't your playground." Chills ran down her spine. She tried to pull him out of the trance, but Michael wouldn't respond. Instead, he began to speak, revealing secrets Evelyn had buried for years. Her deepest fears, her guiltiest sins. "You thought you could control me," it snarled, "but you've awakened something you can't put back." The lights flickered. The temperature in the room dropped. Evelyn's voice faltered as she pleaded, but the figure in Michael's body only laughed. Then, with a shudder, he collapsed. When Michael woke, he had no memory of what had happened, but Evelyn was never the same. She abandoned her practice, haunted by whispers in the dark and the feeling that someone, or something, was watching her. The moral? Hypnosis is not a game. The mind is not a safe space for exploration. It's a labyrinth, and some paths lead to monsters. Evelyn wanted control, but she learned too late. When you dig into the subconscious, sometimes it fights back.